Hi, everyone, and welcome to Good, Bad, or Bullshit. My name is Crofton Steers. I'm one of your three co-hosts, the Pepsi Max of this podcast, if you will. With me, as always, are my two co-hosts. I'm talking about the spruce beer of this podcast, Michael Hodgins. Michael, welcome.
Good old spruce beer. Seldom have tried it. None
One
like
of the
it.
most disgusting soft drinks I can think of, except for maybe the cream soda of this podcast. I'm talking about Bo Schwartz, thick and creamy.
I'm the cream soda. Okay, I'm
I think
creamy
Bo
and I like soda. I mean, hello.
It's true.
This thing on?
I mean, I'm just thinking of the most gross soft drinks. Like I cannot think of two grosser soft drinks.
The cream soda is like cotton. It's like cotton candy became a drink, and cotton candy is disgusting in its own right.
Cream soda's quite good. Cream soda.
It's sweet. I'll give it that.
I wonder if either of those soft drinks are available in the States. The American listeners have
Cream
all just
soda?
tuned out.
Yeah, for sure.
Cream soda, but spruce beer?
I don't know what is spruce
Yeah.
beer. I thought great. This is what I thought
Look,
when
I
you're
don't
doing that
know.
intro. Crofton is doing references to beer and does not drink. This will
No,
go
it's not beer. It's a soft drink called spruce beer.
Yeah.
It's like ginger ale, except replace ginger with pine cones, and you've got kind of like a sense
It's not
of
that bad. I've tried it before, but I would say I don't know much
nasty.
about Americans, but I know they enjoy high cal, sweet, fizzy beverages, so they probably have way more varieties of stuff.
Bo should have been Mountain Dew Code Red Extreme.
that's-
Oh, shit.
Guys,
Missed
I don't drink that weird crap. I drink
Missed
Pepsi.
opportunity.
That's it.
I drink Pepsi.
And yellow Gatorade. Yellow Gatorade is incredible.
That's nasty stuff.
No,
What
it's
is,
quite
what
good.
is
I
the
like
yellow
it.
flavor? It's either lemon or urine. Which one?
It is. No, it's
Pineapple?
it's pie. It's lemon pie.
Lemon
Oh.
pie. Like what? That shouldn't be a drink anyways.
Oh, God,
like,
I wish
what,
it had
you
been
blending
urine.
up the pie.
Yeah, but guys, it's lemon pie flavored Gatorade. Like it's Gatorade
That makes it better.
because it's mostly just water substance, right? You know, come on, man.
It's nasty stuff. My dad is hooked on Gatorade. He drinks the blue stuff. Like it literally looks like Windex and drinks it all day long. And it's just he's always like, Michael, have a Gatorade, and I'm just like, no, I'll drink water.
It doesn't have electrolytes.
Do you have a
Hey,
problem with Gatorade?
What? It's gross.
Okay. Well, I guess if you don't like it, you don't like it. That's fine. I mean,
So
what am I supposed to tell you?
This guy told me a funny story one time, and his name is Bo. And Bo, what's your funny story?
Oh, you know what? Now that I think about it, it's probably not that funny. But I was at... hang on a sec. I'm fixing technical issues here. But, no, I was at work. I was training someone. I was helping to train a person. And it's a young woman. And she's very like, earnest, good, hardworking, but it's a younger woman. And anyways, I'm showing her this graph, and it's about radiation.
I bet you are.
No, don't be inappropriate now.
It's workplace stuff.
I'm showing her this graph about radiation and how when we're calculating, effective dose, how deep the radiation goes in various parts of your body. So like the calculation for effective dose of radiation on your skin is different than on your liver or in different parts because of the way it penetrates through matter. And
You're making this really hard on me with all your deep penetrate.
Well, just let me tell the story, all right?
Okay, God damn it.
So I'm showing her this graph, and then she points to one of the columns and says, "What is that word?" And the word is gonads, because she's French first and English second, so she's never heard the word gonad. So here I am. I'm like, I'm gonna have to explain that means, testicles.
Does it though?
Does it?
I think it's something else down there.
I think gonads are your balls. So, anyways,
That's a medical term?
She's been misinformed.
Yeah,
So
I've
you can look it up right now. Go to the Canadian Nuclear Safety Commission, search radiation doses. Go to the Canadian Nuclear Safety Commission site. There's a graph on that page, and one of the graph bars is labeled gonads. And I was like,
kidding me?
that's
No, it's
balls. And so I had to explain to I'm like, that means balls.
So let me get this straight.
Anyways, that's my
This
story.
is literally mind-blowing to me right now. So I thought the term was testicles or testes
Testes.
for short. But but gonads, like I use that term when I'm like, oh, somebody kicked me in the gonads, like as like a sort of expression that.
Have you ever actually used that term?
Actually, well, you know what? I'm looking it up.
At one point.
I'm looking it up. It's actually a gonad or sex gland or reproductive gland is a mixed gland that produces the gametes and sex hormones of an organism. In the females, it is the reproductive cells or egg cells. In the male, the reproductive cells are the sperm. Okay.
Females are too fragile.
The male gonad testicle produces sperm. So gonads are both male and female. It's not just men that have gonads.
Right. There you go.
The more you know.
So you'll have to go back.
Actually, I thought just men. I thought they just meant balls.
But see, Bo, now when you'll go up to her on when you next go in and say, oh, when I was telling you about testicles, put your hand on her shoulder, so it's very inappropriate, and say, when I was telling you about a man's testicles, it turns out that gonads are also part of the female reproductive system, and then she could get you fired.
Women have gonads too. That's what I've learned.
Yeah, you should be like, yeah, women, don't worry, Cynthia. Women also have gonads. Do you want to go out after work?
No, there's none of that now. The point was that I was like, it's just, I don't know. It's a workplace environment. I don't want to be this person's third day here. I'm going to be like, so, balls.
Yeah, I'm sure it went really well.
Anyway.
I have this mental image of Bo being like, so the radiation can penetrate you really deep in the graph. If you want to see my gonads, you'll see that they're really affected by the radiation, have swollen to abnormal sizes. She's like,
you've taken it too far. You've taken it too far.
Yeah, especially it's funny because like all this stuff. We're in this we were talking about it, I think before at one point, but this whole men and sexual harassment thing. I'm like, I feel like Crofton's just fishing for quotes to be used against him at some point that make him look like a crazy misogynist.
Let the record show on Good, Bad, or Bullshit, episode 154, Crofton said, I'm going to stick it in her like it's her last day on Earth. And Your Honor, I meant that as a joke. I am a fine comedian and performer of the internet.
It's like you're trying to find ways to make yourself look like a harassing male.
Your Honor, first of all, it was well north of 200. We're doing really well in numbers of episodes. But
I'm sure you could find a "That's What She Said" thing from in the first 100 for sure.
Hey, Crofton, you know what? Let's make, if Crofton ever ends up being in a legal situation where he has to go to court and he has to stand as a witness or he's part of there, you and I have to do a bet as to when he says that's what she said at something a judge or a lawyer doing cross-examination. He's on the witness stand, he's like,
I feel like he'd be able to restrain himself.
Your Honor, my client would like to make a statement. This is highly unusual, but I'll allow it. Your Honor, just about 3 sentences back there when the prosecution was saying that thing about the penetration, I just want to say that's what she said. Carry on.
And then in Crofton's world, the judge goes, clack, 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 case dismissed.
Case dismissed. All legal fees paid. Speaking of dismissed cases, there used to be a case that we would carry the random topic generator around, but we just dismissed it one day. We were like, we don't need this thing anymore. We're just going to leave it at Mike's house. So let's use it. Let's
You'd
get
like
a
to
random
use it?
topic.
All right, well, Mike, it's up to you.
Yeah, let's get the machine started here.
That's what she said.
The topic today is our baby showers.
Baby shower. Oh, good Christ!
I know this is.
Did we do something to the random topic generator to make it mad at us?
Listen, I was hoping for something more interesting.
How is this even in there? Didn't we put this on the ban list? I know I'm not supposed to crap on every topic, but we got in a little funk for a while. And we had a good talk about not being negative after topics announced. But fuck this topic.
Yeah. Well, look, Bo hates all things to do with kind of
babies,
relationships or child. I bet you if it was like if the topic was celebration of your purchase of a robot sidekick, he would be like, "Yes, this is a great topic.
Robot showers are great. I want to talk about robot showers all day."
So I find this is, since we're going to clearly have a fair amount of time on this topic, I find this is super interesting in terms of Bo, because Bo is the good guy on the show. He's like, everything is good until he vehemently hates something, or is like, oh God, this thing annoys me so much. And it's always something super innocuous or super like, like he'll be saying good. He throws out good like they're candy, and then all of a sudden you'll get something really basic where you're like, oh, this seems harmless, like birthdays.
I don't mind running the machine again.
No. I don't want to run it again. I want to do this topic. We got a card laid is a card played.
Oh,
your bias is a bit strong right now, but
what are you talking about? You were the one to shout on it.
I'm doing the topic. I'm pro doing the topic.
Okay, he is. Okay, all right. Yeah, I feel like I'm neutral on it. That's
we
why
have to save our vetoes for when it really matters. And as much as I dislike baby showers, they don't matter enough to be worthy of a veto. I don't want to waste it on baby showers.
Who's attended baby showers?
I think so. I don't know. I guess if I can't remember, my answer's got to be no.
I guess we're men, so that's less. You attend what would you attend? The man only attends the baby shower generally at the end if it's his baby, I guess.
Yeah,
right? You don't go to.
This is gonna sound bad, but I'm like, I think I went to one for my own child, but
it was that good, right? It was that memorable.
I can't say that with 100%.
Well, we're not, again, like this is one of those ones where we're not the target audience, right? Like we're not three white men. We're not necessarily like, we're not the ones that the baby showers are generally.
And that's what the world needs more of: three white men talking about stuff that they don't know anything about.
Well, if we eliminated all podcasts where that's the case, there wouldn't be many left. Let's just put it
in the current world, there's still a lot. Don't kid yourself.
I'm going to remind our audio listeners as well that we broadcast live on Twitch, twitch.tv/Good Bad or Bull, and I updated the show title to Good Bad or Bullshit episode 214. Baby showers. And so, the number one gaming live streaming platform has a stream that's going to be talking about baby showers, and I just think that's hilarious. Also,
it is
we
kind
lost
of funny.
one of our viewers.
Now, I think that going over what a baby shower is generally. First off, it's before the baby is born. Typically, it is it's sort of like a party of an event for the mother and the upcoming baby or whatever. And generally, it brings all friends and family. For the most part, this is starting to change. It was a women's only thing for a very long time. Like the men weren't invited. It was just women that were going. There'd be games and activities, sort of a celebration of the upcoming baby. And then there would be a lot of like baby related gifts that were given ostensibly to help prepare you for the stage of your life where there's a fair amount of expenditures and a lot of sort of like paraphernalia that you can need or use in that sort of thing. So then in the one for Gwen, my daughter, at the end, the man generally shows up and thanks everybody for all the gifts that were brought and sort of hangs out for a bit before it sort of closes up. And the last thing that I sort of know about baby showers is it's only really for the first kid. Generally, you don't have like normally if you have one, you might have like smaller work type baby showers, but you're not going to have like a big sort of baby shower for kid number 2 or 3.
That makes sense. You own all the shit already, right? So it's like your first you'd be like, hey, what did you throw out the crib from your 3-year-old because you're never going to use one again? It's like you probably have the crib in the garage and you're like, well, let's use that crib again.
But I mean, like some of the shit, like we have a car seat, one of these bucket seats, and it has like an expiry date of something like 4 or 5 years. So it's like that's not
but
that long.
You ignore that stuff.
Yeah, you're like, it's still good. Look,
it is. But just don't get in a car accident.
Yeah, just don't get in the car. Just keep your kid alive. But yeah, so based on that, like it's pomp and circumstance. It's the same. Like we did bachelor and bachelorette parties on the show. We've done other sort of like traditional types of parties that people have. This one is really like I'm imagining it's one of the few dry parties too, because the bride can't drink. So like everybody would be like real big dickheads to be drinking in the bride's face, I would imagine.
I'm not so sure about that. I think that there's likelihood of, what do you drink in the morning? That like orange juice with booze in it. It's got
Mimosa.
Yeah, mimosas. I bet you there's mimosas going around. God, I was talking earlier about fish. I feel like we're all going to be called up as annoying misogynists. We're like, ladies like their mimosas, and they're like, fuck you, you white asshole. But yeah, I think there's some drinking. I don't think it's like it's got to be dry, but they tend to be. I always thought they were more morning affairs. I don't know.
No, it's like morning, afternoon sort of shit. So, Bo, what's your rager on this one? I'm just curious what your what is it that makes you so vehemently against celebrating the birth of a new child?
I don't think I'm against it.
But you had a natural...
I'm gonna be real, folks. I had a hard time focusing on the things they were saying about. My brain just heard it as. I was like, oh no, baby showers. So yeah, that's.
But why when the topic came up, you're like, oh no, this is horrible. Is it just because you don't care about them? But it's not because you felt strongly against them?
Well, okay, the context of it really is just that like we were in a good mood. We're talking about Dungeons and Dragons before the show, and I've got the new show I'm doing. There Will Be Dungeons on Fridays. You can check out the podcast feed and all that at therewillbedungeons.com. Anyways,
he's very disinterested in this
we were super stoked and having a great conversation, and then it was like, well, I thought maybe we were gonna do something big, but it's random. I don't know. So that was my disappointing reaction. I'm just like,
yeah,
Jesus.
And I will tell you, I never do this, but when that number came up and I saw it, I was like, oh, I almost wanted to just skip to another one, in the hopper, but I didn't.
But okay.
I just feel like this one is interesting in the sense that I feel like I'm kind of grasping at cliches and assumptions, and though we often talk about stuff we don't know anything about, I feel like I'm really like in like stereotype world of what I've seen on like a sitcom or some kind of show about what a baby shower is, and I'm like, man, I don't know. I feel like I don't know how to give a verdict. It's not just I might default to good because I'm like, I don't want to seem like yeah, sure, it's good.
Why is a shower? Why is it called a shower? Do we know what that part?
I don't know. It's in the same context as like a bridal shower or whatever. Like,
so is it the showering of gifts? Or
I feel like that's what it must mean.
But it could be an old meaning where you dunk them in water or something.
The showering of gifts sounds good, dunking in butter.
Well, I mean, like in medieval times. Medieval times they didn't give presents. In medieval times you got hit with wood, big wooden stick.
Here's a side story here, because both my brothers recently had babies, and so I went to help sort of set up a little bit during the baby shower for the for my brother who lives around here's baby, and his wife lives in the small town Rupert. They rented out the rec hall and all that sort of stuff, and they did a bunch of decorations, and Nick and Tracy, they love to travel, so a lot of everything was sort of done up in the sort of traveling, the places you'll go type motif. There was like a toilet, what is it, sort of diapers or toilet paper type, accoutrements put together to look like mountains and different things. And so I thought that was cool, like that and everybody was excited about it. We were dropping off. I went to drop off food that like my mom had prepped. So like I come there and I go in and I'm like, oh, this is fun and all this. But then it's sort of like, okay, like exclusionary, it's like, okay, well, I'm the brother of the dad. So like, but I'm not, like not only am I not really welcome, but the dad is essentially not super welcome until the end. Like it's like a ladies thing, unless said differently, which it's starting to become now. And I kind of like I always question those things when it's sort of like separated by gender. And I get that there's something really sort of special about, motherhood and sort of celebration of motherhood and collectively the ladies getting together. But I did feel in that sort of situation like, man, I would have liked to have gone to this thing. It looks like fun. Looks like they had some games set up and like some stuff. I was like, this seems like a good time. But instead it's like, I'm not welcome because
well, this is what I would bet. And I don't know this, but sometimes how you don't know something, but you feel like it's true. That's a really jackass thing.
Truthiness.
I feel like this is true. I feel like, because it kind of cued me off when you're talking about bridal showers, and I feel like these things are rooted in the past, an era of time in which we do not live. So, for example, like a bridal shower. At some point, the bridal shower, people be like, "Listen, honey, you're gonna have sex with this man, and this is what it's like," because there was none of, things were all clamped down on it. I'm talking like 1800s or something. That's what I think those things were about. Get ready, because it's coming. And I think that probably the origin of the baby shower was probably like women got together, and women who've had babies and or experienced were like, okay, you're having a baby. It's gonna be like this. Prepare yourself. I bet you, and that's why I bet it was exclusionary, because it was probably like a passing of knowledge, when knowledge, especially around bodily functions, whether it be sex or having a baby, were way, way more taboo. Like a baby, a man would not even be present. It'd be like, you'd just go, the baby would appear someplace, and you hope your wife didn't die in the process. And I mean, I don't mean to be callous about that, because I think we all know that the death rates of mothers was very high, and still is in some parts of the world. So I think that probably the origins of these things are based on the fact that it was a transfer of knowledge from women. And I'd be like, okay, especially in a culture where knowledge is not spread, especially stuff around sex and reproduction, like it wasn't like. So I get that, but I feel like today that's not the case. So I feel like today it's like, you go to a baby course, with your partner, you learn, like I went through one of these where you learn everything about birth, as a modern man. I'm of course there when the baby's being born, so none of that is like hidden knowledge. And I feel like then the baby shower then just becomes this kind of like glorification of the like having a baby and the culture, because there's a huge culture around babies. And I'm sure this is something that kind of probably annoys Bo and kind of anyone who doesn't have kids. And I being not a baby person as a father, I get it too, where I'm like, there's a lot of emphasis on like, this is important, this is meaningful. And I mean, there's a million babies born every day. It's like, it's a thing.
But there's a million babies born every day, but you don't have a million babies every day. Like, especially like when I think about it from a certain angle, like we all have if we were a tribe of 50 and a new child was coming into the tribe, that would be an event worth celebrating, because that would be rare. But we know there are billions of people, and like you said, there's sort of that like jaded aspect of, there's tons of babies, who gives a shit? Even if it's my baby, I don't care that much to have a party for it. But we do have our tribes, and I guess people still do that, where they get together with their tribe to celebrate the new life in the tribe. Like, do you think, I'm trying to find a reason to say a good thing about this, and I'm like, it's kind of a celebration of bringing, new life into your group or whatever. But Crofton's muted, so I'm going to keep talking.
It's a life event. I mean, having a baby is a giant life event. So, it makes sense just on the very surface.
No, yeah, it is a celebration for sure. That's what the whole thing is. It is a celebration, and I get it. And definitely Mike's truthiness comment there does straight true to me in terms of like, yeah, that does feel like kind of maybe what it was in the past. Now I find, in a perfect world where wealth would be sort of shared equally, maybe the expenses and all that associated with having a kid wouldn't be that big a deal. And I know that people have like, parents and stuff like that, and ideally their parents would give them money to support all the big purchases. Like a stroller costs like a lot of money, like a good or half decent stroller, we're talking hundreds of dollars. And that's just like one of many, many items. So it's like it does like on a transactionary level, it does kind of facilitate the transfer of wealth. And yes, you don't necessarily need a baby shower to trigger that, but like, at least it does provide this sort of like avenue, this lifeline, for folks. And the one thing I'll say, like having said that positive thing, and having been on the other side of the baby shower, the thing is that you get, it's almost like there's this weird sort of transactionary thing. So like you get a gift, and most of the people at the baby shower are people that, your the mother of the child wants to be there, right? Like, but they don't choose. You don't organize your own baby shower. Somebody else organizes it for you. And what happened, like I know in our case, and I don't think that we're close to being alone on this, is like my mom was like, oh, well, can I have a few of my friends to go to the baby shower as well? And like my brother's wife who was organizing it was like, oh yeah, I for sure it's not a problem. So then there's, my mom invites like 10 ladies or something like that who we, maybe I knew when I was in diapers, but I don't really know now. They show up at the baby shower. I'm not there. They give my wife like presents and stuff. And it comes with sort of like the expectation that they're going to see the baby at one point. Okay. Which is kind of like, that's what I mean by the transactionary nature. It's sort of like, it feels kind of weird because, my mom was on me afterwards, like, did you send thank you cards to like Linda and to whatever and all that sort of stuff? It's like, fuck mom, I'm fine. I'll send, thank you cards. I'm not a child. We were going to put these out anyway. But then it's like, when we're in Wakefield or where my mom lives, there's always like, it feels like sometimes there's pressure. If somebody said, so and so was at your baby shower, Gwen is like 3 years old, they've never seen her, or whatever, like because she gave me maybe a $20 gift back then, or so that feels not cool to me. Like I feel kind of off put by that sort of stuff, and I don't think that I'm the only one that's in these situations. Like you don't control who's at your baby shower. People come up and then you kind of owe them something.
Yeah, that sounds annoying. I'm like, I'm not be annoyed by that. And I mean, like that's, if it's that transactional, especially with people you don't know. Like I have a similar thing. One of my mom's kind of friends always buys like shirts and stuff for my kid, and I'm kind of like, do I have to do something? I'm like, I didn't ask for the shirt. It's nice, but like this is someone I don't really even know. I feel like they're doing it more for my mom than me. But
so it's weird. It's weird.
But in terms of like the baby shower and the needing of stuff, because you're right about like, a crib's a lot of money, a stroller's a lot of money, and blah blah blah. But even some of these things, it's like, do you have to have a big party where all these things are like, here's the stuff, or can't you be like, yeah, we'd like to help you out, we're your parents, let's buy you a stroller or a crib or something to make it easier? Why does it have to be this kind of like party? And I really think the whole thing is, again, coming back to like, it's a vestige of the past where it was like, like this thing is happening and women get together and we just held on to it. But I don't know. I think they are changing too. I think more of them like have men at them, like, but I don't know. I just can't help thinking that all this stuff is tied into baby culture. Like, and I mean, like, I never got that into it, and I don't know if you did either. But like for example, I was just down in Toronto visiting my in-laws who have a 3.5-year-old and a baby. And they are into baby culture, or at least the mom is into baby culture. Like, so they got a baby. She's still off on mat leave. There's like this whole gaggle of other women who have the babies, and they go to all these baby things, and it's like, that's baby culture. And you can get drawn into that, where it's like, this is like a be all and end all. And I don't know. I felt like I never did, and I don't think my wife did either. It was just kind of like, yeah, we have a kid now, and I don't want to spend all my time with other people who have kids. In fact, sometimes you're like, I just want to talk to someone about something that's not my goddamn kid right now, because that's 100% of my life, And I find, but baby culture can be like massive and oppressive, and I think there's a lot of pressure in society to have kids, and that having kids is something you should do, And that's all BS. I think we kind of know that. You don't have to have kids. There's no reason. There's enough people in the world. You don't need to have that kid. But there's a lot of pressure around there. And I feel like the baby showers just started tied in with all that. It's like, here's the shower. Finally, you're having a kid. You know, like your parents are like, when are you going to have some kids? And then you do. And they're like, we're so happy. We want a couple of grandkids. And it's, you know, all this stuff. And you're just, part of me wants to just say, like, whatever.
I truly do think that it is for that generation, like the next, and like I think it's rare that somebody who's expecting is like comes into a room, everybody's like surprise, and they're like, oh, this is so great. You know, I think yes, it happens. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but but I think more often than not they're like, oh God, I've got to do this now. And then they, you know, like, cause first off, it happens at the end of the pregnancy, near the end, where they're big and uncomfortable generally, right? So it's like being like, okay, now I got to sit and I got to interact with all these people, and it's great, it's a surprise, and I'm really, so for the mom, it's not necessarily the greatest thing in the world, but I truly do feel like for the grandmothers, like this is sort of like the social event of the season, if you will, you know. And I don't know, like, I don't know what, when our generation is like say I'm a grandfather, or you know, or Jesse's a grandmother, and like our kids are off, and you know, maybe they're finally, you know, having their own kids, and we have tons of free time all the time, and we're at home, and I'm like, well, should I mow the lawn today, or should I go out on the dock? I'm not quite sure. Hey, remember, it's the kid's baby shower tomorrow, or, you know, like it's a bigger deal for me. It's a bigger thing for me at that stage of my life. And so I do think that's kind of secretly who these baby showers are for. They're more for the grandparents than they are for the actual parents. That could be very cynical, but that's how I feel.
No, that sounds right. It's to celebrate, and that celebration is for everyone. It's not just. I don't think of the self-centered version as being correct. Like, it's to shower the person with gifts, even though it's called a shower. Maybe that's what you do. It's a social event, and it's a once-in-a-lifetime event, at least as far as that baby's concerned. It's like, in theory, a wedding, I suppose. But
baby's not there though. The baby's in the belly.
Doesn't matter. It's to celebrate his coming. It is weird that it is before. Why isn't it after? I guess because then we're doing birthdays.
I think my truthiness was on with that one.
Because then it
was about getting ready. The birth is coming.
I don't know. I don't.
And you got to get a lot of the gifts. I guess you have to get a lot of these things to be ready. You know.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Actually, you don't want to get the gifts after. You're gonna need them. No. You're not gonna feel like going shopping the day after you give birth.
Yeah, that's true.
That's. I mean, the timing there I think seems, you know, right and evolved in such a way. But I like the thing that I can relate to, because I don't have a baby. I don't do showers. I mean, I am a baby, some might say, but in certain regards. But
he definitely doesn't do showers.
No. I don't do showers, except unless they have water in them. But the thing is that I do get is that it's yet another. I like the what you call it, the transactional aspect of all social engagements. Like, we know, I think, at least in urban areas, but I'm pretty sure it's true in a lot of places, we know a lot more people on average in a lifetime than I think we might previously, because of the internet, because of the way cars have developed, modernity. And so we end up with all these, like,
some of us are super popular.
It's my brother's birthday. Do you want to come? And you feel the social pressure to go to something innocuous, like some person's extended family thing. You're like, oh man, this person will think less of me if I don't go. But I've only got so many hours in the week. I'm trying to do 3 podcasts, and I'm trying to do this other thing. I don't want to go to their fucking shit. Next thing you know, because then I go to this shit, and then I'm gonna have shit, and then you have to come to the shit, and that's why I'm like, I go to no one's shit, because I don't got time for y'all. Like, and that's I guess where I put baby showers. Like, if I had a baby, I'd be like, I'm busy with the damn baby. I'm gonna spend my free time and go to Last Jedi. I don't want to have a shower. I don't want to go to your showers. I don't want to go to your birthdays. In fact, let's stop celebrating birthdays. We know too many people for this to be healthy for anybody. If I knew 10 people, I could do 10 birthdays a year. But I know like 200 people. And if I made a point of being a good person to all of them, I do. No, hang on. Wait a second.
I know where you live. I know what you do on a day-to-day basis.
Michael, wait a second. Just you can laugh at me. I have a very close circle of friends. I don't even go to their birthdays. But I've worked. I've had people that I've associated with that I could take a Friday and go to their house for a birthday. And make no mistake, work colleagues ask one another all the time to do this shit. And I've always made it my policy to be like, I'll see you at work, and we do fuck all outside of work. And
sorry, Al.
Well, no, actually, we hang out with Al. Al, you're accepted from this rule, and so is Danny. I wish I saw Danny more. These are some old work colleagues. But generally speaking, my policy is no to that, unless they want to play Dungeons and Dragons with me or cool board games, which is why Al and Danny are awesome. It's sorry, these are people we know. But generally speaking, I'll play D&D with them. I'm not going to your baby shower, Al, and I'm not inviting you to mine because I'm not having one. So I don't want to have this transactional debt that we create with one another. That's why I'm like, get rid of birthdays, get rid of showers, get rid of all these social customs that are from a time where people could manage these things because they didn't have much in their schedule. Now, people have lots in their plate. They've got their Tinder to attend to, and they've got things to do. And these archaic social engagements don't fit. They're not economically viable for a person's time budget. I mean, it's funny. And showers are top of the list. Fuck off, baby showers.
It's when you hear these headlines where they'll say like, social media is destroying society. I feel like Bo's diatribe there is like a point in case example of how and why it is, where Bo's like, I'm too busy doing shit on the internet to go to your birthday party or to support you in the survival of your new trial.
I work 40 hours. I travel 10 to 20 of them a week.
Hey, don't interrupt me.
You went on for 20 minutes. No, because you're saying I'm just saying I have limited time, and my life is comprised of my choices. And if my choices are to go to people's shit, I'll get no time for myself. So
no, but
you can say I am the fallout of social media, and I'll be like, that's fine. Go ahead.
Yes, and I will because what I will say. Even if I crap on these things, I do. And in this particular case, I think this is like a point in case situation where it's like you're more concerned with your like various online engagements than with someone being like, so what if your like sister had a baby shower and wanted you to come? You'd be like, F off, I record tomorrow my Heroes of the Storm Gaming podcast.
She wouldn't have a baby shower.
You can have a child when it's more convenient to me. I'd be like, okay, look, these are basic social bonds.
Not that I want to talk about family or bring them out there, but I guarantee you my sister would not have a baby shower. We'd have a get-together at some point, and I'd see the child. There'd be none of this
birthdays
baby shower.
too.
And I'd see the child. One time, I would see the child.
I'm just saying.
Hey, child, you can see your uncle online.
And I'm not even saying I like baby showers. I'm still not sure where I stand on them. But it is like Bo's whole stance. I'm like, hey man, this is like degrading social bonds. I mean, these are big things for people to have a kid. I mean, a lot of people only have like one or two. It's not many. It doesn't happen often. And in the end, it's hard to crap a little bit too much on something that is basically a show of support for someone who is about to enter a challenging time, because having a baby is a challenging time. And I know that now, and I assumed that before, but I know it way more than I assumed it now. So I'm like, to show support for those people. I mean, like, it's hard to say that it's bad.
God damn it, Hodges.
What?
Well, that every once in a while when we're doing this show, there's like, I'm waffling between a couple of verdicts or whatever, and I'm like, okay, I know where I'm going on this sort of thing. And then every once in a while, you guys, more often than not, it'll be me, but sometimes you guys will say something that'll be like, cut to the heart of it, and I'm like, oh God. And then it'll change my verdict like right away. And just what you said there, I was like, oh man.
I know. I feel Crofton, I feel you. I feel the same way.
Yeah.
You know, it was like the other day when I said that conventions were good, even though it pained me to do so.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, yeah, and these things too. I'm like, yeah, they're not for me. I'm okay. Are we ready for verdicts here? Or what?
I am. I am.
We're only 40 minutes into the show. We've run over like an hour and a half of the past 3 episodes. What's wrong? You want to finish the show so quickly?
Let's be efficient. Let's run it verdict.
Let's not put our listeners through this.
No one has listened to this point in the episode, anyways.
That's not true. There's plenty of people who listen. Come on, now.
Even Wicked Kitten's like, guys, I kind of got to go to bed now. I'm just.
You know what? We if anything, our listenership is going up, and we have many more listeners now than we did a few weeks ago.
Oh yeah,
but not for this episode. That's
for all of our episodes, because they're here to tune into us. See, this podcast is like a podcast shower. They tune in. You guys are here, and we're here because we love doing this.
I like it, but you just shot on it so much. Be like, I got other shit to do. I got more important stuff to do. But like, I expect you to listen to my podcast. You're like,
that's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, baby showers suck. All right, let's go into verdicts. Bringing in the farm animals. Where are they? There we go.
I said, order in the court.
This is a production quality. I love it.
High quality.
All right, I'm gonna go
John
first.
Jagger's character's leading that.
What?
Huh?
Oh, order in the court. Yeah. Southern dandy. Yeah. Stanley Billings. His name is Stanley Billings. Okay. My verdict on baby showers is, bullshit.
He'd drag himself up to there too.
I'm done.
That's it?
That's my verdict.
You know what? Just a couple.
The breakdown of social bonds. This is what we're witnessing here.
A couple of things though is Bo is I've decided is from this podcast very much extreme with his verdicts. They're normally good, unless they're normally good, almost always good, unless they're bad. Like,
well, I said bullshit.
I know.
Yes, and that's because the comment I made that made Crofton kind of cringe also made Bo realize that he could either be a monster or just kind of cynical, and he was like, "I'm just gonna go for cynical."
Yeah, because Bo's like,
I gotta keep it real.
I
want to say
birthdays were bad, right?
Yeah, they're bad. Yeah. Those are bad.
Yeah,
he is a monster.
So, like, on a scale, like, if I had to pick one, I'd keep baby showers and ditch birthdays.
Yeah,
1,000 times over.
Less often. I get what
the reason why it's bullshit. Just to extend my verdict a little more, is because I can get celebrating a new person coming into the tribe. I think that's all right. I'm not that.
Just never again. Never.
But we don't have time for that shit in this modern age. That's why I'm bullshit.
Because you're too busy updating your Instagram feed. Important stuff.
Okay.
All right, my verdict's done.
I'll go next. So yeah, I'm gonna say baby showers are good, and I'll be honest. I was gonna say they were bullshit this whole episode. They just feel real kind of bullshitty or whatever. There's a lot, I stretched a little bit about me not being let in into the club or whatever like that. That stuff was a bit of a stretch, but at the same time, I find a lot about the sort of pomp and circumstance, the relic of a bygone age, all that sort of stuff. To me, normally that stuff is bullshit. But Mike's 2 points, one about the truth, sort of, he feels that this is right, but he can't prove it, the sharing of knowledge, coupled with just that communal show of support for somebody who it is true, like, you have this baby, and everybody tells you so much that it's become tropey, where they say, like, oh, man, you're never going to sleep again, you're going to, like, all these sort of different things that are kind of almost like, you feel like scare tactics. But then you have a baby and you're like, shit, man, this stuff is true and really, really, really tough to bear. But, I know I have a network. They've come out for me. I can contact them when need be. They've provided me with gifts to help me through this time and all that sort of stuff. So despite all this sort of negativity that I may feel about these types of things, I have to say that, like, to Mike's point, they are generally good shows of support, and so I'll say good.
Yeah, and I basically have to just echo Croft, and I'll just say they're good too.
Wow, baby shower shills.
It's again, and it's funny when I was saying it, I was like, oh, I have to say good now because it was just like, it's just showing someone that is about to go through something difficult that, like, hey, we got your back a little bit. And how can you say that that's bad? I know how. You're a monster. That's how
Nobody did say it was bad. Nobody did.
No. I just said a monster would. And Bo climbed out of the hole to be like, well, I sometimes come above for daylight. Just hugely cynical and is looking forward to the breakdown of society. But yeah, like,
I'm looking forward to the hive mind, the togetherness of society. Mischaracterized
I
again.
don't think that's true. You're talking out of one side of your mouth and out of the other side.
The point is, that's the problem.
You're
is
like,
I have a mouse,
and
I'd rather talk with my mind.
Let's have a baby shower to celebrate a community. Never. And so, yeah, a lot of the stuff annoys me about them. I think that they have been kind of taken over by things like baby culture and consumerism. There's a lot of stuff you need to have a baby. There's a lot more stuff that you don't need. And you get both at baby showers, and at least the typical, stereotypical one. And I mean, but again, just showing support for someone you care about. It's going to be a hard time coming up, and you're like, hey, here's a little party. Your life's about to change. It's good. Yeah. Anyways.
So there you have it. Two goods and a bullshit from three men. So if you have your own view on baby showers and you want to share them with us, maybe you have a vagina, and we'll actually have a baby someday, and this is more of a topic that cuts close to the heart. Well, you can reach out to us, goodbadbull@gmail.com, and tell us what you think about baby showers. Do you welcome this show of support? Do you think that they're just obnoxious and make you uncomfortable? Like, what do you think? We would love to know, because we can only speculate from our side of the aisle.
I'm sure anyone with a vagina feels super comfortable writing into a show that said, if you have a vagina, right into the show. I think you've gone out of your way to make them feel comfortable.
Well, thank you.
Remember, he's fishing for a sexual harassment suit.
That's why I'm the host with the most. So again, goodbadbull@gmail.com. You can also go to goodbadbull.com, find all our shows. There we got a Patreon at patreon.com/goodbadbull. If you want to show us some support, we love our patrons. They allow us to do the show. We really appreciate it. If you want to do so, we would more than welcome it. Good Bad Bull at Good Bad Bull on Twitter is where you can follow us to figure out when we go live on Twitch, as well as when a new episode is up. Twitch.tv/goodbadbull.
Yeah, right? Buddy, you got it right.
Yeah, all right, perfect. It's where you can go to stream the live episodes when they happen. And we are individuals of individual natures, and you can follow us all individually on the internet, starting with the Mountain Dew Cream Soda Code Red Extreme of this podcast. I'm talking Bo Schwartz.
Yeah, if you've got a vagina or a penis or some other kind of gonad that we've never heard of before, you can follow me and bring your gonads at BoSchwartz.com.
He's jacked up on Mountain Dew.
At BoSchwartz on Twitter, not .com.
And the Canadian spruce beer of the show, Michael Hodgins, where can people find you?
You can find me out where you harvest the wonderful spruce for the spruce beer out in the woods. I'm currently still on Twitter. I'm working up the nerve to quit that shit too. At ML Hodgins.
Follow me. I'll be quitting soon.
So it's
crappy too. I realized that Facebook sucked, and I'm like, you know what? Twitter kind of shit too. Why don't I quit it?
It's a low investment to follow him because he'll probably leave. So.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to read any obnoxious tweets and think I hate this person.
But in the short term, you can show your support. You can show your support to me by following me at Croft and Steers on Twitter as well. I do not have a Dungeons and Dragons podcast, although if I did,
I gotta plug that.
Super awesome on it.
for whoever's left listening to this fine episode, I need to plug my shit. I'm doing a Dungeons and Dragons podcast. We talked about it before we started recording the show, and then we didn't talk about it now. So
no, actually, you did interrupt the topic after we drew it to plug the show, but feel free to plug it a second time.
There will be dungeons.com. It's like There Will Be Blood, the movie with Daniel Day-Lewis. Awesome, except it's dungeons, and they're as savage as that movie. As well as Daniel Day-Lewis's acting. I'm the Dungeon Master. We've got Scott Johnson. We've got John Jagger, my buddies on Core who we do the show with, and Kyle Ferguson and Kristen Ashton. And it's awesome.
It is a pretty good show. And I mean, I love how aggressively he plugs that show on this show, and I'm sure he aggressively plugs Good, Bad.
Nobody plugs anything on There Will Be Dungeons. It's our role-playing games only.
But you could plug something, because this is, hear me out. You're the Dungeon Master, so you can name any tavern or location.
You approach the good, bad, or bullshit.com tavern. Would you like a good drink, a bad drink, or a bullshit drink?
Yeah, you don't even have to.
There was a narcissist out front, self-aggrandizing himself.
He's a halfling. He seems to be touting how magnificent this tavern is. But yeah, the good, bad, or bullshit tavern, and just watch Scott roll his eyes while you're saying it.
The tavern keeper comes up to you and you ask, "What is his name?" And he says, "Oh, my name is Good, Bad, or Bullshitstein. Mr. Good, Bad, or Bullshitstein. Can I get you a good ale or a bad ale?"
Yeah,
I recommend the good ale.
You can follow me on the Twitter at Good Bad Bull.
And then there'll be this elf in the corner named Michael Sen, and he'll be like, "Don't buy this shit here. It's consumeristic, but baby showers are good. But fucking don't buy any beer here."
It's true. Sounds about right.
Yeah.
I love it if Bo made us all like characters, and then did his Bo voice acting voices to portray each of us. I think it would be super hilarious if I was listening and all of a sudden like there's this
Croftinius would be
the
your
halfling.
name. You'd be Croftinius.
Croftinius. I'd be like, "Fuck that, Bo. I'm suing his ass."
Yeah, but Scott will be happy. Scott Johnson likes you. He posted a picture of you on Twitter.
What?
I think that's the show. I'll find a place to cut it off there. It was pretty raucous. Very good. Thanks for helping me promote it in a very viral social media way, Crofton. You've got a good instinct for publicity and social media. Do you work in this field?
You never know.
I just saw Scott's tweet. Oh my god, that's hilarious! I'm gonna have to like it.
That picture, that picture, you should retweet it. That picture we took. So one of the things Scott likes to do is take a picture and then find an awkward thing in it and like zoom it in like crazy. So he did that to Crofton today. It's great.
He just like after we put up the show.
Yeah, he does it to everyone.
What does he use? Does he have some program that just?
I don't know. Actually, I mean to ask him because he's pretty quick at it. You'll post a tweet and 10 seconds later, he'll find like a dildo in the background and zoom it in and he'll just tweet it back to you without comment. It's super funny. I don't know how he does it.
Tweet.
It's so weird.
I know, and I have my annoying goatee.
It's hilarious.
It's amazing. I'm sorry. I'm gonna retweet and like it. I'm gonna give it the double. The best part
was that he put "love me" on it.
Yeah. I know, it's so good.
All right, live stream viewers, thank you so much for hanging out. New episode next week in the hopper, but you can't wait to hear it. And we'll be back next Thursday for another record. Got to get back on that saddle, as we're a weekly show, not a bi-weekly show.
What? I never knew.
I've been busy not going to baby showers to post episodes on time.
Bo with his 200 friends is too busy to go to.
Man, dude, I am writing a Dungeons and Dragons campaign from scratch. It is time consuming.
That takes.
Are we still live?
We're not. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you. I saw Wicked Kitten in there and Dread Pirate Rami. Thank you so much for hanging out. See you Saturday.
Yeah.
Bye.